Good morning, ladies, and welcome back to Chatting with Chaz. I'm Chaz, and today's a very special episode because we are talking to the very tall, the very handsome, and the star of the Broadway musical Footloose, Jared Carlson. But first, we must dance. All right, that's enough dancing for now. I kid. But please join me in welcoming the Jared Carlson. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Let me just say, you look amazing. Like, I honestly couldn't think that someone could look as sexy. Well, thank you. You don't look too bad yourself. You were just like so perfect. I mean, you smell fantastic. Oh, stop. You're too kind. All right, so Jared, you are a world-renowned superstar. Ladies want to be with you, and men want to be you. How do you do it? Well, Chaz, to be honest with you, it was all my family. They molded me and helped me, and they're the reason why I am the man I am today. Oh, a family man. It's hard to find those today. Now, going back to what you said, take us into the childhood of Jared Carlson. Well, growing up, my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 3, and that really affected me as a child because whenever I go to school or whenever I would go to the park or whenever I go to my friend's house, there would always be 2 loving parents, and they would just be madly in love with each other. And I'd get jealous, so I always, when I was a kid, I always held a grudge against my mom and dad. I know it's stupid to say out loud, but I would hold a grudge against them, and I would always like yell at them and say like, "Why didn't you guys try harder?" And looking back at that now, it really affected me because I was always very sad and lonely as a kid. But now looking back at it, I'm just really mad at myself that I thought that way. And now that I know now that sometimes things don't work out, and I understand that. I know there's some kids out there that can relate to that, but I know I can't because Mommy and Daddy love their little Chaz. Well, who couldn't love you, Chaz? Enough about me. I think I can speak for the audience by saying, take us back into your childhood. We want to know more. I had a really good childhood, but let's just say my family didn't really have much. My dad worked for the city that I grew up in, the city of Sycamore. He worked for the water department since he was 18 years old, and he still works there today. And my mom had all different kinds of jobs. I don't really remember. I remember she was a bartender, and then she was a babysitter and all that jazz. But now she's a special ed teacher at the local DeKalb High School. But yeah, growing up, we didn't really have much. I remember sometimes being really cold at my house because we didn't really have heat or anything. Or like during Christmas, we got, I know it's kind of self thing to say, but like when you're a kid, you know, you like want presents and everything. But I remember we'd always get like, there's like a limit of like 2 to 3 presents. And I remember not really having warm water. So when we had to take baths and showers and stuff, my it's kind of funny now thinking about it because, you know, we don't have to deal with this anymore, thank God. My stepmom, she would get like really hot water from the sink and like fill it in a pan, and she would bring it upstairs and put it into the bathtub, and then we had to wait until the water cooled down, and then we'd take our baths because we didn't have warm water, and it was like the winter, so you're not gonna take a cold bath. So like, yeah, I remember that. But then they tried so hard to make it special for us. And it was really awesome because even though we didn't really have much, I still don't remember the bad times. Like I only remember good times as a kid. Like they would make it so special for us. Like they would like, even though they didn't make much, they would like still take us out to like special treats. Like we'd go out for ice cream. We would go to the park. I remember my dad used to take us to White Sox games all the time because, let's be honest, the White Sox suck, and the tickets were pretty cheap, but he would still take out a day of work, which would cost him a lot of money, and he would take us out just so we can have a good childhood. And looking back at it now, I really appreciate that as an adult now, and I just really want to prove myself in the future by taking care of them and making sure that they never go, that we never are like that anymore. So I kind of think to myself that it's my responsibility to take care of my family now, since they took good care of me when I was a kid. Wow, that sounds like the perfect family. Let's celebrate them with a dance break. Welcome back, ladies. We are still talking to the Jared Carlson. You started talking to us about your family before the break. Can you tell us more? Yeah, my childhood, my parents were always involved in my childhood. My mom was always there for me whenever I needed her and everything. And I grew up playing a lot of sports. I played 4 sports in high school and ever since I was a little kid. And sports really helps me stay active and stay kind of distract me from all the troubles I had with my home life and everything. But also, it was really good because it also connected me and my dad together. It made something that me and my dad can connect to through sports. And I thought that was really special for me because my dad would go to work at 6 o'clock. No, he would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then he'd go out all day. He'd be working in the hot sun or the freezing winter. And when he'd come home, he'd come home at 4, and he'd just be so tired. It's understandable. He'd working all day. And he didn't really have enough energy to do all that. So what we did was, I just remember having so many good memories of my dad coming home from work, and him just showering, getting dressed, and then coming down, and me and him would I'd be done with my homework. He would come down. Me and my dad would just sit on the couch, and just watch sports, talk about what something interesting happened. We would watch baseball, we'd watch football, watch basketball. And we would just talk about how our days went and everything. And we still do that now, which is really awesome. I'm really glad that we could keep up the tradition. It's also funny because my birthday is February 5th, and that's usually when the Super Bowl is It's usually February 5th, February 7th, February 6th, something around there. But usually it would land on my birthday, and it's really cool because since I love sports, I love football, Denver Broncos. Love you guys. Even though the Super Bowl would fall on my birthday, my dad would do this really cool thing where he'd make it a Super Bowl party and my birthday party. So it'd be just a huge celebration. And it was really cool since me and my dad would always be there watching the game and talking about it. And we even talk about it now, even though sometimes we don't see eye to eye on some things. It's still a lot of fun for me and him to have that special connection. And with my mom, she... Even though she wasn't the biggest sports fan, but she would always try. Bless her heart. She'd always just try to talk to me about sports and everything, and just and it was really cool. But even though she was more of my side besides sports, I remember I'm a really big dancer. I love to dance. I'd always dance with her. She was a big supporter of me dancing. Growing up and everything, she would always play music around the house, so I would dance too, and we would always bake and cook with music, and we'd always be dancing and everything. So I think with her, it was really special for me because she kept up the side that I enjoy. Yeah, my family was great people and everything, and when I look back on it now, they helped me create the person I am today, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was a kid, I wasn't the happy, jokingly good guy I am today. When I was a kid, I was really mean. I didn't let people in. I never talked. I was very shy. I know it's hard to believe, but I was shy. And I just I didn't like people because I was just as a kid, I just felt so hurt because I went through a lot of stuff as a kid, and I just was so hurt. And I didn't want to feel betrayed from other people. And then I think it was going into 5th grade. I just like one day I realized, I'm like, hey, I know, 5th grade, little kid realizing what he's gonna do. I just realized, I'm like what am I doing with my life? Like why am I doing this? Why am I being so mean to everyone? Like this isn't, like no one likes this. And then I just realized that like the only way to help me and to help other people is to finally like be happy. Like, you know, like I told myself I do not want anyone to feel the way I felt when I was a kid. I did not want anyone to feel that. And if I could make someone not feel that, my life would be complete. So that persona, the Jared Carlson persona, was born that day. So then after that, I was this happy, smiling guy, and I was always like walking around, making people laugh, dancing, joking around. And I was always that person that I was the shoulder that people could cry on. I don't really care if I don't know you, if I just met you. If I see you in a classroom by yourself, sitting alone, I will come up to you and talk to you. Or if I see you really upset or anything, I will go out of my way to see how you are doing today and see if I can do anything to make you happy. After that day, I will promise you that a smile never left my face after that day. Like every day people saw me, I was always smiling. Like there was not a day I wasn't smiling. It was unbelievable, and I really have to thank my family for that, because they have just supported me with love, and they have just helped me become the man I am today. So my family is where I'm from. That's what I'm trying to say. It's my family. My family is the reason why I am today. Wow, you are just so incredible, so inspiring, and so very sexy. But that's all the time we have here. Thank you, Jared, for coming in and telling us all about your family. Thank you so much for having me, Chaz. I really appreciate it. I would totally come back to the show if you want me someday. I'm Chaz Chanel Chattington. We'll chat with you next time.